Hello Year 4, it's Mrs. Blues here with your English lesson for Thursday, and today we're going to be doing some guided reading. So just to start off, like we always do in class, we're going to watch a short video and I've got a few questions for you, okay? So the first question is, what is Nemo's dad riding on? The second question, our inference question, is why does he feel sick? And the third question about our choices is, how does the clip show different attitudes to parenting? Okay, so you will know this film, so watch carefully and see if you can answer the questions. We'll come back and talk about them in just a minute.
Focus, dude. Oh, he lives. Hey, dude.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, I saw the whole thing, dude. First you were all like, whoa. And then we were like, whoa. And then you were like, whoa.
What are you talking about?
You, Minnie Man, taking on the jellies. You got serious thrill issues, dude.
Oh.
Awesome.
Oh, my stomach.
Oh, man. Hey, no hurling on the shell, dude, okay? Just waxed it.
So, Mr. Turtle.
Whoa, dude. Mr. Turtle is my father. Name's Crush. You're riding it, dude. Check it out. Okay, grab shell, dude.
Grab what?
Righteous! Yeah! So, what brings you on this fine day to the EAC?
Well, Dory and I need to get to Sydney. Oh my goodness!
Whoa, kill the motor, dude. Let us see what Squirt does flying solo.
Whoa! That was so cool! Hey, Dad, did you see that? Did you see me? Did you see what I did?
You so totally rock, Squirt! So give me some fin. Noggin. Dude. Oh, intro. Jellyman, offspring. Offspring, Jellyman.
Jellies? Sweet.
Totally. Find your exit, buddy. Do you have your exit, buddy?
Yes!
Okay, Squirt here will now give you a rundown on proper exiting technique.
Good afternoon. We're gonna have a great jump today. Okay, crank hard, cut back as you hit the wall. There's a screaming bottom turn, so watch out. Remember, rip it, roll it, and touch it.
It's like he's trying to speak to me. I know it. You know, you're really cute, but I don't know what you're saying. Say the first thing again.
Okay, Jellyman, go, go, go. Most excellent. Now, turn your fishy tails round and swim straight on through to Sydney. No worries, man. You tell your little dude I said hi, okay?
Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching that clip. So let's just go back to our questions. So what was Nemo's dad riding on? Hopefully you've realised he was riding on a turtle. Why does he feel sick? So why was he feeling sick in the video? So you need to do a little bit more thinking there, but hopefully you realised it was the motion of travelling on the back of the turtle. He was almost a little bit seasick, wasn't he? And then finally, how did the clip show different attitudes to parenting? So you see two parents there. You've got Nemo's dad and the turtle, who's also a dad. How are they parenting differently? Okay, you might know from the film, but Nemo's dad's a bit of a worrier and he always tries to protect Nemo, but so much that Nemo doesn't get a lot of freedom. But on the other hand, the turtle is really trusting of his son, isn't he? And lets him take big risks with his safety just to see what happens. So very different styles of parenting. Right then, let's see what we're doing today. So if you remember, in our last guided reading lesson, we were looking at a play script. We looked at the Oliver Twist play script and we picked out the features. So we're going to build on that today. And our walk today is to write and perform play scripts. Okay, so we're going to have a go at our own play script. But let's just remind ourselves of some of the features. So here's a play script here. What I'd like to do first, I'm going to read through it, but what I'd like you to do as I'm reading through is see if you can spot the features. So think back to what we talked about last lesson. Think about what things you see in a play script, like how it's set out, what punctuation is used, what punctuation isn't used, and some of the other features that you would see in a play script, like some of the directions and things like that. Okay, so this is an example of a play script based on our Abominables story. So at the top, you can see I've got me playing the teacher. I haven't got any names here for Lucy or Ambrose because we're not in school together. If we were, we could put names in and act it out together. But for today, I'll have to play the characters. Okay. Oh, Ambrose, what's that smell? Oh, it smells lovely. What smell? Oh, that smell. It's coming from this building. It smells like baked potato with cheese. I'm so hungry. Me too. Can I go and say sorry to it? Please, can I? Can I please? I don't think this is a good idea. Okay, so just a small example of a play script there. Let's think then about the features. So what features did you spot? Thinking back to what we talked about last lesson. So I'll just give you a moment here. I'll just pause, but you can pause the video. Have a think, what features have you spotted in that play script? I put a little snip of the play script down here as well, just so you can see it. But what features are there? If you're with somebody, you can pause the video and have a chat now. If not, just think to yourself and then I'll go through some of them with you. Okay, let's start putting in some of the features then. If you need a bit longer, like I said, just pause the video and think for yourself or talk to somebody with you. So we have got character names. Going to make this font a tiny bit smaller so I can fit it all on. So the characters are named. Which side of the page are the character names on? Can you see? So you can see just down here, they're on the left-hand side, aren't they? Okay. And can you remember what we call that punctuation mark that comes after the character names? These two dots here. Can you remember what they were called? So we've got colons. Okay. So colon after the character name. I wonder if you can remember what other punctuation we see in play scripts a lot. If you look here, we've got some brackets. Okay, so brackets are used for, what do we call it? If you remember, we call it stage directions. Okay, so it's whatever the director wants the actors to do. So they put in stage directions, so things like character walks across the stage or whispered or something like that, so that the actor knows how they've got to perform or what they've got to do. So we've got brackets for stage directions. What don't we have? I wonder if you can remember what punctuation we will not see in a play script. So we have no inverted commas, or speech marks, you could call them. So no inverted commas, because all of it should be spoken other than the stage directions. So that's why the stage directions are in brackets, okay? But everything else would be spoken, so we don't need inverted commas. What else am I missing? We've got brackets for stage directions. I suppose I could just add in stage directions, couldn't I? Or maybe I might be a bit more specific and I might say something like speech verbs, like whispered, said, shouted, cried. Then the actor knows how something is supposed to be said or read. And of course, we still have other types of punctuation like question marks, exclamation marks, full stops where we need them. Okay, so don't forget your other types of punctuation, because they're really important too. It's only inverted commas we don't want to see, but we do want to see capital letters, full stops and everything else. So let's just put in correct punctuation. Okay, right, I think we've done pretty well. Let's just recap. So we've got colons, which are the 2 dots, and they come after the character's name. We've got correct punctuation, brackets for stage directions, so we have to remember to put the stage directions in too. No inverted commas, character names, and speech verbs. So let's have a think about what makes a good playscript performance, because after you've had a go at writing a short playscript today, I would like you to try and perform it. Now, I know you might be working on your own, but you can still try and read different character voices, okay? So let's watch a short video now, and then we're going to come up with some steps to success that you can use to help you perform your playscript really well. So just watch carefully and I'll share this short video. It's only a minute or so, but this will help us to decide what our steps to success are. So listen carefully and you should hear them.
Right, Buff. Let's prepare for the big show by rehearsing your lines. Make sure you speak clearly and confidently.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Try using your voice in different ways. You could speak loudly to announce something.
Oh yay, gather round!
Or quickly to make something sound urgent.
Weigh anchor and hoist a mizzen!
Or quietly for dramatic effect.
We'll feed 'em to the fishies.
Make sure you get into character, changing the way you move. Or give your character attitude using body language. And if it's role play, make up interesting things based on what you know about the character.
Cleave him to the brisket!
Or if it's a play, it may be a comedy. Or it could be a tragedy.
No!
Oh, amazing!
Okay, I hope you managed to pick out some steps to success there. So let's think then, what do we need to include in our playscripts to make them a really good performance? And what do we need to do when we're actually performing it as well, okay? So if you listen carefully to the video, they did say about trying to sort of match what happens with what sort of genre of play you want it to be. So if it's a comedy, you need to have funny things happening. If it's a tragedy, you need to have some dramatic things happening. So should we say match actions to the type of play? E.g., I'll give you an example there just so it makes sense. So we'll say e.g. Funny things happening in a comedy. So you could have a comedy playscript today if you want to, make it funny. We also need to then think about how things are said. So if, right at the start of that video, they talked about how the pirate was going to say things. So whether they were going to say things loudly or quietly or quickly. So try to think about how things are going to be said. They didn't talk about there, but what I would like you to think about is how is the space going to be used? So if this was performed on a stage or perhaps in a particular setting, how are you going to use that space for some stage directions? So maybe you're going to say to your character, walk up the stairs, or maybe you're going to say, climb into the car, whatever it is. So think about how the space is used. Okay, so I mean your sort of performance space. Okay, I'm also just going to add in for when you are actually performing, so speak clearly and confidently. It's really important when you're performing to try to be confident, even if you don't feel it on the inside, try to appear confident to your audience. Okay, so some steps to success there. We've already looked at features of a play script. So now let's have a go at writing our own. So I've given some examples here. So what I'd like you to do today is pick one of the examples below. If you really want to, you can make up your own. That's not a problem. It would be really nice to have some of your own ideas. But if you're struggling, then just pick one of my examples down here. So I've put 4 there for you to choose from. So pick one of those. Decide who your characters are. Okay, I'm going to actually write one with you in a second. I'm going to keep my characters to just 2 or 3 characters because I want to keep it quite simple so that I can really spend time on my performance today. Then you can write your play script. It only needs to be short, don't worry. So maybe half a page up to a page. Don't worry about writing lots and lots and lots. It's more about trying to use the features of a play script and then practicing your performance. And then finally, when you're happy with what you've written, practice and perform. You might be working on your own at home, so I know that's tricky, but you can try to put on different voices. You could even dress yourself up in different costumes if you want to. Use what you've got at home to be really imaginative and really creative. But if you are lucky enough to have somebody working with you, then perhaps your parents or cousins or whoever you're with might like to join in with your performance, okay? So here are the examples. You could have the Yetis are at the beach for the first time. They think they are completely alone. So try to think what might happen then. We've got example number 2. The Yetis eventually get to Farley Towers. Who do they meet there and what happens to them? And then number 3, the Yetis have been discovered and are being interviewed on TV. So you could do it as a TV interview. And finally, number 4, Con introduces the Yetis to his grandmother for the first time. She can't see or hear very well. So think about that one. You'll have a lot of repetition if she can't hear very well or see very well, okay? So I'm actually going to pick example number 2 to have a go at now. So I've got the Yetis eventually get to Farley Towers. Who do they meet and what happens? Now, like I said, I'm going to keep mine quite simple. So I'm just going to pick Con and Ambrose. But I then actually am going to put a new character in for somebody that they meet at Farley Towers, okay? So let me get started with how I'm going to set mine out. So I do just want to put in, actually, we didn't have this in our example, but we usually have a scene name or number, don't we? So I'm going to have scene 8 because I like the number 8. And I'm going to just put Farley Towers because that's our location. Okay, so if you remember when we looked at the Oliver Twist one, it was set in the workhouse, wasn't it? Okay, and so we had, I think it was scene 2, workhouse at the top of that one. Okay, so now I'm going to start with a bit of an introduction just so that I know what's going on. I think I'm going to start with them maybe approaching Farley Towers. So I'm going to say Con and the Yetis are approaching Farley Towers. Maybe rather than approaching, I might say are driving down a long country lane, approaching Farley Towers. And there's a little bit more detail. Okay, so I don't need to put that bit in brackets because it's not really a direction for the actors. It's more just explaining what the setting is and what's happening at the start of the scene, okay? So that bit I won't put in brackets, but I will try to use brackets in my speech here. So I wonder who might spot Farley Towers first. I wonder if it would be Con or Ambrose. I think I'm going to have Ambrose spot it. So I need Ambrose, so capital letter for my character name. I've put the name over on the left-hand side. What was the punctuation mark I need to put after the character's name? That's right, a colon, okay? So Ambrose, colon. I might have him say, look, I can see it. The towers, something like that. No, I might add a stage direction now. I'm going to go back and put excitedly, or just excited, I suppose I could put. Okay, so then let's go on to the next line. I'm going to have Con then reply, and I think I might have, for the fact that Ambrose has spotted the tower first, I might put Con and then in brackets put looking up, as if Con had been looking a different direction. So I'm going to have Con looking up, saying Ambrose You're right. We're finally here. Okay, so like I said, it doesn't have to be lots and lots of writing today. Your characters can just write short things. Say short things, sorry. I'm just thinking how I'm going to introduce this new character because I would like somebody meeting them at Farley Towers. So I think I might actually have Ambrose, you're right, we're finally here. And then Con could say afterwards, maybe something like, look, I can see somebody in the window. I can see somebody in the window. Or no, actually, I'm going to change my mind. Sorry, Year 4, I'm just thinking about how I want this to play out. I think actually I might have somebody waiting on the drive for them. So I might have, look, there's somebody waiting for us. Then we could go straight into our next character if we want to. I'm running out a bit of space here, but you'll have more space. So I might have, I wonder what we could call our new character. So it's going to be somebody who's been living in Farley Towers. So it's probably a Farlingham, isn't it? Because we have the Earl of Farlingham and we had Lady Agatha Farlingham. So perhaps we could have, I might make it Master Farlingham, something like that. And I might just have him say, good afternoon, gentlemen. We've been waiting for you. Okay, so you can see how I'm starting. So I'm not using any inverted commas because everything that I'm writing is going to be said. I've got my character names down on the left. I've got colons after the character name. I've got brackets for how I want things to be said or what I want my characters to do. So the stage directions. I've got scene 8 and the setting. And I've also just got a little introduction so that it's clear what's actually happening. Okay, so that's how I'd like you to set yours out. Don't forget you can choose from the different examples that I gave you. So they're just on here. So you might like to pause the video on this page so that you've got the examples in front of you, or pause it on this page and then you can always use what I've written and build on that if you're not quite sure what to do in yours. But like I said, you can make up your own if you'd rather. And I'd love to see what you've written, if you can send us some photographs. And also it'd be nice to hear some performances. So maybe try to really practice. And when we're back together next week, perhaps we'll be able to hear some of these performances. Okay, good luck with that, Year 4. Keep going with your work. You're doing brilliantly. And we'll see you soon.